Hey everyone, Leo with Dreaming Tree, and welcome to the assembly video for our Elf Gnome gift box. It's, the third, my third anyway, of the trio of the stackable boxes. We have a gable box on top and a square box on the bottom that kind of creates the character's little body. So definitely something different. And I'm sure that will be, it'll be a delightful experience for kids and adults alike. So first thing we're going to do, for those of you that are only putting together the gable box, we're going to start with that. And then if you're doing the bottom, then obviously you'll do that next. We have 4 pieces. They're all numbered here, 1, 2, 3, and 4 is 4 little dashes in the shape of a square. Okay, and then we're going to need these pieces here to finish up the little handle part of the gable box. Okay, so I'm going to pop right into it here. If you've assembled the last 2, the process of assembling the gable box is identical. Okay, so we're not putting glue here. We're going to go off to the side and begin applying glue to this tab here. And we'll spread that out to the very edge. Put that down flat, grab section 2, line that up as accurately as you can, and press that just to the right of the little score mark there. And then before it's fully set, fold it over onto itself, and you can kind of check the alignment by looking at these 2 tabs. They should line up perfectly right on top of each other. And I do this so that when I press here, if any glue shoots out, it doesn't get onto the surface. It actually just ends up on this little edge here, and you can wipe that off with your finger. Okay, so 1 and 2 are connected. Let's begin putting glue. Is that 1 and 2? Yep, 1 and 2 is connected. We'll put glue on the next tab and spread that out nicely, just like that. Grab piece number 3 and line that up as accurately as you can. Basically nudging it right up to the little square mark. You don't want to go over it. If you can visualize it, you want to be somewhere in the middle. Okay, fold it over and check your alignment. Press down. There we go. Okay, there we go. That's perfect. Now we'll go over here, apply glue to this tab on section 3. There we go. And line that up nicely. There we go. The cool thing about this is we formatted it in a way where you can make these bigger or smaller. Smaller, you can definitely make them smaller, and you can make them bigger. We had to do it in a way where it creates a little extra work connecting all the sections together, but had to do it that way, otherwise you wouldn't be able to make it bigger, which I'm sure some of you will want to do. Okay, so now this one here has a number 1 on it. That's going to go on number 1, but up here. So we need to put some glue on this tab here. Okay, and we'll spread that out to the very edge, just like we've been doing. Okay, and then grab section 1. You want to get that nice and centered right up to the score mark there, and push that down. I'm going to fold this over onto itself so I can check my alignment. That looks great. I can press down just like that. Beautiful. Okay, and then we'll go over here to section 3. This is section 3. And we'll take the lid with the 3 on it. Spread that out. Nice and even. Whoops. And I'm going to line that up as accurately as we can. Nice and centered. There we go. Perfect. Press right there, just to the left of the score mark, and fold it over onto itself. Check your alignment. Perfect. And then we can press that down. Wonderful. Okay, now while we still have this flat, we have some extra pieces here to kind of thicken up this part. This little piece here is going to go over this little notch, and we want to reinforce that because it is going to get a little wear and tear, and we don't want that ripping, so we're doing 2 layers, and I figured might as well just do the whole thing here to keep it looking nice and uniform. So that one's going to go here. Just line that up with the existing layer there very carefully. Make sure it all matches up nicely. And press that down. That looks good. And we'll go over here and do the same thing. Okay. I'm just thinking about my son Peyton, who's going to be 1 in about 2 weeks. He is the joy of my life. And I don't know if he doesn't really understand what Christmas is or anything, but he loves everything. He's such a happy boy, always smiling, laughing, joking around, just like his mama and his daddy. I just want to make his Christmas extra special. I don't know how I'm going to do that because he doesn't really quite understand everything yet, but that's okay. All right, so now while we still have this flat, we do have some decorative elements for the hat. Okay, so for example, this one here is going to go, I'm going to grab this piece. You can see there's a series of little score marks there to help you with the placement of these pieces so that we can get a nice striped look on the hat. And it's just a matter of making sure that you grab the right ones to fit in these little areas here. Okay, so that one's going to go like that. So let's get that glued down real quick. I didn't do a lot of inking on this project because, well, there's a lot of surface area on the actual box, and I didn't want to ink that whole thing because I don't think it needs it. I really like the graphic look of this without the ink, so I just left it alone. I did ink a little bit of his facial features, but not everything. I think it looks fine without it, so that's a time saver on its own. Okay, so you can see how that goes. That's going to be flush there with the edge of that. Might need to just kind of give it a little nudge just to make sure you've got it lined up properly. And then we got this little guy, and on the tip there we have a little bit of gold foil for his little pom-pom or bell, whatever it is. Is that what elves have? They have bells maybe on the ends? Maybe. Probably. I think I've seen that before. Okay, so let's get that glued down. It's just easier to do this while everything's flat rather than trying to do it while it's all dimensional. Make sure you don't have any glue on your fingers when you push that down. Okay, do the same thing over here. It's just that it's mirrored, so it's going to kind of go the other way. Okay. And you know what, sometimes, especially after doing that, for those of you that did the Bewitched Bungalow, sometimes it's just nice to do something a little simpler and not have to worry about inking and this and that, and just have some fun and make someone's day, which is what we're going to accomplish when we give these as gifts. You just picture your child, nephew, grandson, whoever it is, Christmas morning when they come down and they see the tree and they see maybe one or maybe all 3 of the characters just sitting there waiting for them, filled with little goodies. Oh boy. Oh, that was a close one. Get out of here, glue. Okay, there we go. Line that up. I'm going to find my other little gold piece. Pop that right on there. Make sure your fingers are clean. Okay, and so that's good. That part's done. Now what we need to do is we need to close this up. So we're going to take and apply glue to this tab here. And spread that out. Okay. You can pop that down on your surface, grab the other end, just bring it over. It should, for the most part, line up perfectly. Mine did. Press that down, fold it over onto that tab, or onto itself, I should say. I kind of rushed it a little bit. It's okay. Press that down, and that's going to close it up. There we go. Okay, so let's test this out. Should meet nicely. And there you go. Okay, not quite done yet. Still got to put the bottom on it. That's okay. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to flare these out so that we can flip it over like that. Okay, and find section 1. And we're going to find these two pieces. One of these should say GL and the other one should say G. Put GL off to the side, and let's start with just the piece that says G. And we're going to put glue on tab 1. And we're going to spread that glue out to the very edge. We're going to take and anchor this piece onto this tab. We'll do one section at a time. It's a lot easier to glue one section down instead of trying to do all 4. It just makes it a lot cleaner. Get that nice and centered right out to the edge. Press that down very gently. And you can take it, let it drop. Press down on the tab, like so. Make sure that all of it is making good contact. Just like that. Form it again. Drop it down. Let's flip it around. And now we're going to take these 3 tabs. I can move this out of the way. And we're going to apply glue to the remaining 3 tabs. Go a little bit heavier with the glue here. You want to see a little bit of thickness on there because we need a little extra time to get this part done properly. We have 3 tabs that we need to apply glue to and also spread out. And we don't want that glue drying prematurely. Okay, spread that out to the edge. One more side. Still feels wet. Once it starts feeling tacky, you've waited a little too long. All right, now bring this down and get it aligned with this side first. Nice and straight, right out to the edge, nice and centered. If you need to kind of push the walls in a little bit, that's totally normal. Okay, now take a look at the sides. They should be pretty much right where they need to be. If you need to push them in a little bit, that's totally normal. And then just continue running your fingers along the perimeter first. That looks great. Now we'll flip it and push down on the tabs. That's going to prevent it from moving around. Okay, let's take another look at the seams here. Continue pushing down while that glue is still somewhat tacky, just to prevent any gaps. If you have any gaps, you can always take a piece of scrap paper, put a little bit of glue on it, and tuck it in between those areas and help that to get in position, but I think we did a pretty good job there. Okay, so I need to fold these in. That helps it assume the position correctly when it's folded in. There you go. Okay, cool. All right, so this is going to be the front. That's where I anchored it, plus the hat goes over to the left. You could do it either way. It's not a huge difference. Oh, you know what? Forgot to do one thing. Open this back up, and we're going to put a little bit of glue along the perimeter here, along the inside. Grab this piece that says GL, slide it right in there. Whoops. And press that down. It's going to hide the tabs and also make the bottom a lot stronger. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, so now it's time to work on the elf's face. We're going to do that. Okay, actually, you know what we can do? So 2 things here. We have 2 layers for the hair, and you'll notice here that this and this piece, they don't really match up no matter how you do it. There's a slit here and a slit there. That doesn't work. find the one that does. These two slits should match up, just like that, okay? So we're gonna apply glue to the hair portion. Just go easy on the glue here. You don't need a whole heck of a lot. Just try to make sure that you get it out to the edges and around the perimeter so it doesn't come pulling away. Okay, just like that. And then again, you're gonna try your best to match that up. Actually, if you keep it and get it flush with the top and the sides, that little slit should match up perfectly. And if it's a little off, just give it a little tug. There we go. And you can see I didn't even ink this. I don't think it needs it. I don't think it needs it. You can go nuts with the ink if you want, but I'm going graphic style with this one. So that's that. Same thing here. I'm going to glue that onto that piece. Get that glue going. I need some here. Work it around the perimeter. Those little slits are for his ears, because obviously elves have elf ears. We got to get those in there. Okay, grab that, and I'm going to hold it like this. I'm going to match up the top, get that flush and the sides, and then as you can see here, the slit just matches up and just finds its way. A little bit of glue in there, it's okay. Okay, so these are the two sides. Now there's also an additional piece here that's going to fit like a little puzzle, one for each side. I need to get that in place. You can see here it goes just like that. Okay, so let's flip this around, apply our glue. Very easy on the glue here. Small, delicate piece, doesn't need a ton. And just pop it in like a little puzzle, very carefully. Try not to get any glue on that dark brown. Perfect. There we go. Same thing on this side. Clean off this nozzle. Okay. There we go. And pop that in there. Should fit perfectly. There we go. Okay, so two sides. This is going to be the back. I'm going to put these underneath my mat so they dry nice and flat. In the meantime, a couple more little elements that we need to put together, the ears actually. So we've got 4 of these pieces, and we need to find 2 that work together like this. You want to sandwich them back to back like this. You'll notice there's some score marks here, and these tabs are actually what we're going to use to connect this and glue it into the actual structure. So we need to glue these back to back like this, but we do not want to put glue on the tabs. Okay, so just put glue on just the ear part on one half. Grab the other half, line it up. Now you can actually bring these tabs down and use them to help you with the alignment, but make sure there's just no glue on them. Okay, just like that. Once you're done, you can take and flare those out. They should be free floating like that. You can do the same thing here with the other ear. Just fold those tabs out of the way. Apply glue to just one half. Okay, grab the other half, line it up, and close it up. No glue on the tabs, remember, leave those alone. We're going to need those later. Okay, so if this is our front, this is going to be our left ear, this is going to be our right ear, and we just need to put this piece here, and then this piece is going to go here. What we're going to do is apply some glue to this little guy, and that's going to get glued in the center of the ear, right up to where the score mark is. So if it helps to kind of leave that tab up to help you with the placement, that's fine. And try to maintain an even border around this little pink part of his ear, like that. Okay, do the same thing on the other side. Okay, get that nice and centered. Push that up against the tab as far as it'll go. There we go. Okay, so the 2 ears are done. We'll get to that later. Okay, in the meantime, let's put together the face. Okay. Okay, so the black part of the mouth and the tongue, we're going to put those on after. This is actually on this structure. Same with the cheeks, but the other elements we can actually put together beforehand. So what we're going to do for the hair is take the dark brown and put it on top of the light brown, just like this. So we can flip this around and begin applying our glue. Try to work that glue down the tips of the little strands of hair here, or group of hairs. I'm a crafter, not an English major, sorry. I'm just kidding. Okay, and just get that lined up. Pretty self-explanatory how it lines up. Okay, and then I was just focusing on that top part. If you get the top lined up properly, the rest of it should just naturally fall into place. If you need to give it a little nudge, that's totally fine. That looks great. Okay, and on top of that, I'm going to put this green piece like so. So we need to flip this over and apply our glue. Whoa, I've never done that before. Okay, line that up with the little scallops on the brown part. Get that on there as accurately as you can. Press down, and we have a little green strip for the bottom of the brim. It's going to go right here like this. Okay, so let's get that in place. Okay, and very carefully, it should be flush with the very bottom of this dark green piece. Make sure you don't have any of that dark green or whatever color you're using peeking through the bottom there. Perfect. All right, so now this is going to get glued to this part here, like so. So we can actually, let me make sure that, yeah, that's all making contact. So go ahead and apply your glue to the entire thing. Okay, and pop that right on there. Okay, now one thing I just realized is we do need to put these pieces in here, but I think we can just tuck them under and it'll be fine. I'm not overly worried about it. Okay, next we're going to take this pink piece for the nose. We're going to glue it to the top of the white, or glue it on top of the white, not to the top. Okay, we're actually going to use some foam squares on this piece. Let's make sure that that fits on there properly. It does. Maybe a hint of pink or a hint of white showing through, that's okay. These machines, as awesome as they are, they still can't cut perfect circles. I don't know why. All right, let's throw some foam squares on these. And they shouldn't, I don't think they're going to get in the way of anything. So we can do that now. Peel that off. Okay, we want the little white part on the right-hand side. Tarnation? I don't know what that is. All right, you got some little markers here to help you with the placement of the nose. Pardon my head here for 1 second. Pop that on there like that. There we go. Okay, so this is going to go on the box in just a moment. First thing we're going to do is grab these pieces that were sitting under the mat. Okay, and again, this is our front. We're going to go over to the left-hand side and just need to match this up with the little slit. That's going to go right on there. Okay, so we can apply our glue to this piece here and just work around the perimeter, nice and easy. Try to get it out to the edge a little bit along the inside, and just pop that right on there. Make sure you're matching it up with the little slit. Should be flush at the bottom, flush at the front and back. There we go. Now it could be helpful at this point to open this up and lay this down, press down from the inside to help the rest of that make good contact. Just like that. Let's take a look at that. Beautiful. Now let's head over to the other side and let's apply our glue just like we did. I think I'm getting just enough of that glue out to the perimeter. And again, it's going to match up with that little slit. I'm using my thumb here. I'm feeling to make sure that the bottom of this is flush. And as I do that, focusing on the slit as well. Looks good. I'll put that down on my surface, press down from the inside. Okay. I know I'm off to the left today, sorry. Try to keep this centered for you. Perfect. Okay, now we can go to the back, grab just this straight brown piece, and we'll get that glued down. Nice and easy with the glue. Now that is drying up on me pretty quickly here. Okay, again, nice and flush on the bottom. Should meet up perfectly with those other sides. Put that down flat, push down from the inside. And there we go. Okay. Perfect. Looks great. Okay, so now you can go ahead and I'll leave this open for now. Now he's square on the front, so you literally just need to match it up like so. Okay, and what I would suggest doing here, well, it's a little tricky because you can't put glue on this whole thing because it'll show up. So let's take a look here. Obviously we're going to put glue on this section, and then let me see, where is it? Okay, so this little valley here after this first scallop, I'll try to visualize a straight line and keep the glue within that area, and don't go too far out past this straight line either, because that will not be making any contact with anything. Same with the hair here. Okay, so just try to keep it inside of this area, right about there. Just visualize a rectangle. Okay, that should do it. Again, focus on getting it flush with the bottom, flush with the left, flush with the right. Okay, there we go. Press that down into place, just like that, and then we can let it drop and push down from the inside. Hopefully it didn't move. Nope, still nice and flush. Perfect. Okay, cool. So let's get the mouth in place. And you see what I mean here? We just have to kind of lift up the hair a little bit to get the cheeks in there, but that's fine. Shouldn't be a problem. That should fit in there like a little puzzle. Just like that. And then this little piece here, that's going to go right on the bottom. And if you need to kind of bring it down a little bit to overlap the black, you don't want any of that black showing underneath this piece. So if you need to bring it down a little bit and cross over onto that skin color, that's fine too. Just like that. Okay, now we'll get the little cheek parts in there and just make sure that it does fit. And that doesn't want to come out. There we go. Okay, let's throw a little glue on the back of this. Just a tiny little bit will do. Just tuck it underneath that little strand of hair. Pop it right in there. Beautiful. And that should fit under there too. Yeah, plenty of room. So I was a little concerned that I kind of did that out of order, but it's fine. There we go. Okay. And last but not least, you got to give him some ears, right? Okay, so here's his right ear. Here's the front of his face. We're going to take and squeeze this together, shove the 2 tabs through, and then from the inside, we're going to take and apply glue. We're going to take these tabs and separate them so that both tabs are making contact with the side of the box. So we're going to put glue here where my finger's touching, and then we're going to push that up against the inside on both sides. And you don't need a lot of glue here, just a tiny little bit. Okay, so I've got the glue on that side there, and I'm going to take it and press it up against the inside. And I'm just going to use my fingers from the outside to kind of push against it. And we'll go over here, throw some glue right on that surface, right there, and take that and push it up against the inside of the box. It's going to rest on the tab. And just press that from the outside, and there's his ear. Okay, I'll do the same thing on the other side. Slide it through, apply your glue, push it onto the side of the inside of the box. Okay, just make sure those tabs spread apart nice and easy. It'll make the gluing part a lot easier for you. Okay, let me move this out of the way so you can see that tab in there. See the tab? Awkward positioning for me, but I'll do it for you. There it is. You can see the glue on that tab, and I'll take it. Yeah, it's super awkward to show. And pushing it up against up against the side of the box. And that's why I'm pushing right here. You get the idea. You did it on one side, same thing on the other side. Very simple little process. Okay, so the gable box is done. And if that's all you're making, then you are free to go. The school bell has rang, and you are, or you can go to recess and then come back and do the bottom. All right, so again, it's going to close up like this. We're going to grab these 2 ends, bring them together, bring the side over. And as you can see, there is our super cute little elf. He's ready to go. So let's put together our lid. Okay. So the lid, you'll notice here, is made up of these pieces. Okay, they're all identical. And we're just going to put them together like this. I'm going to start off by applying glue to this little tab, this trapezoid tab. It has a T on it. Okay. And I'm going to spread that and line this up. And pop that into place. You take it and fold it over onto itself just to make sure that these should be nice and straight. That's an indication that you've got it lined up accurately. Okay. And we'll go over here. Next tab. Spread that glue out. Grab the next section. Line it up. Press that into place. Fold it over onto itself. Press down. There we go. And the last one. Okay. There we go. Oops. Perfect. Hold it over onto itself. Check your alignment. These should be flush. And then give that a good press. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, so now I'm just going to close this up, make it all one continuous piece by applying glue to this last tab. Spreading that out. And you can literally pop that down onto your surface, grab the other end, and it should line up perfectly. Press that down for a second. Lift it up, bring it over. There we go. Okay, so we have the sides of the lid constructed here. We're going to take and apply glue to one of the tabs here so that we can anchor the first part of the top. So get that glue spread out. And then we're going to take this green piece that has a letter T etched into it somewhere. There it is. And we're going to get that centered right out to the edge. just like that. And run your finger along the very edge there. You can drop that down, press down on the rest of the tab. Let that really get a good hold. Okay, and then let's check that seam. Looks good. I'll move that out of the way, and I need to apply glue to the remaining 3 tabs. It's going to move around a little bit, so just hold it wherever is comfortable. And again, don't worry about going a little bit heavier here because we need that glue to stay wet, and we also need to spread it out. Go ahead and spread that out. Feels pretty good. A little tacky there, that's okay. If we need to, we can always go in and use our little cleanup method. That's not enough. That's going to be a problem for me if I don't add a little glue. Okay, now fold this down and connect it. Focus on this side here, the side opposite of where it was already hinged. Bring it out as far as it'll go, right up to that very edge, and just get that right in place. If you need to kind of nudge these walls in a little bit, that's fine, totally normal. And just continue kind of working your way around. Let's flip it over and push down on the remaining tabs. Okay. And let's check those edges. See, I've got a huge gap there. I knew it was going to happen because I felt that the glue was getting tacky. That's okay. I'm going to grab a scrap piece of paper and just paint a little bit of glue right into this area that is not sitting completely flat. Same with this area here. I need a little more glue there. It happens. There we go. And just keep holding that down. And push from the inside too. Just make sure you don't have huge gaps here. Okay, so now we have a little pattern for this. It's these little guys here. And what we're going to do is we're going to glue this down onto the surface, and these are going to hang over, and then we're going to glue them down to the sides. Okay, so let's do that. Just apply some glue just to the strip, like so. Okay, and then push that up against the edge of the box as far as it'll go. Make sure it's centered and sitting flush, like that. You can also flip it over, push down from the inside so you don't go bending the box all over the place. Okay, we'll do the same thing. These are all the same size and shape, so it doesn't matter which one you grab. Just grab whichever one. We'll do the same thing here. Push that up against the edge of the box. Make sure it's centered. There we go. Push there, and then push down. We can flip it over and push down here. And then we'll glue the individual little triangles down here in just a moment. Okay, almost there. Then we just have the base of the box to put together. Very simple. It's probably the easiest of the 3. Save the easiest for last. Okay. So again, let me move this out of the way before I get glue on something that doesn't need it. Okay, push it up against the edge as far as it'll go, nice and centered. There we go. Press that down. And press that down from the inside. And then we just have one more little strip. Get your glue on there. Nice and centered. There we go. And press down. And then finally, just going to go around the horn here. Probably just leave it upside down like this. And we'll apply some glue, just very easy on the glue here, but make sure you get a little bit out to the very tip. I'm just going to try to do 5 at a time here. See if we can pull it off. Okay, very gently bring that over and press it down, especially down at the bottom. There we go. That's working out nicely. Perfect. Cool. This is my first time putting all 3 of these together. So it's not that hard. As long as you follow along, you'll be fine. Okay, and I'm just doing one little stripe down to the very tip. Okay, and just very carefully bring it down, and especially give that an extra little press down at the bottom. Hopefully you didn't get too much glue down there to where it's squirting out. And then you can also push that down, help the rest of that surface make contact. Looks sharp. Okay, let's peel these back. We got 10 more to go. Not bad. Just stop kind of squeezing the glue as you get towards the very end. So it's just using whatever was on the tip of the nozzle. There we go. That's why you really got to give it a press right at there at the end. A nice solid little press. And then put that down on your surface. And then we just have a red piece, a solid red piece that's going to go right at the very base, or at very top, I should say. There we go. It's all in the details. It just wouldn't be the same if it was just a silly, not silly, but standard. I meant standard. I'm starting to lose my mind here. I've been crafting pretty much all day. Okay, there we go. All right, so that's done. Now we're just going to take this red piece, and this is going to get glued right on top to finish it off. You can either put glue on there or on here, either way. I'm just going to do this because I can hold it in my hand. Just working around the perimeter. Okay. And get that nice and centered right out to the edge. Just run your fingers along the perimeter. And just keep pressing down. You can flip it over, push on the middle part. Help that get some traction. And again, if for whatever reason you have any little gaps, just throw a little bit of glue on a piece of scrap, tuck it right between those 2 layers, and press and hold for a few extra seconds to make sure that everything looks nice and seamless. You bought this cool box, you're making it for someone special, you might as well take a few extra seconds to really impress them with it. It's not really asking much. Okay, there's that. So we can put him on there so you can see what it's going to eventually look like. Now, we're going to work on the main bottom box. There's a few little elements that we need to glue together. And I'm going to take this white part of our candy cane, and I'm going to glue that. Now I'm gluing this onto, what's it called? Glitter, which can sometimes be problematic. It takes a little bit longer for anything to stick to glitter. It's not very porous, and it's like almost like a plastic. I don't know what it's made of. I think it's some kind of a plastic, so it'll stick. It just takes a little bit longer. So just be patient. Get it lined up. Okay, let's get that nice and lined up. Press that down, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this thing under my mat and let the mat do the work here. Next, we've got some little buttons here, and this is a gold foil. I'm just going to do a series of little dots, and that needs to get centered on this little round piece. Okay, and then I'm going to take this and flip it upside down and give that a gentle press. There we go. Do the same thing here. Okay. Just like that. Give that a quick little press. Sometimes when you press down on foil, on cardstock, it has a tendency to kind of move a little bit because the back of it is kind of almost like it's not very porous either. Okay, let's see how that turned out. That's not bad. Okay, and then we've got his little hands here. This part is going to go on top of the white, so just that little bit of that white is showing, like this. Let's get that glued into place. Like that. Line that up. Okay, and then this one here. So all these little elements will be attached to the actual bottom of the box once we have it assembled. Okay, there we go. Press that down. You can put that off to the side. And these little pieces here are to help kind of make the structure of the box a little more rigid. I'll get to that in a minute. This part is where we're going to put the buttons and the hands, so that's going to go on last. The main structure of the box is made up of these 4 pieces. There's tabs on 2 sides, and then we have a bottom and a liner. Okay, so you'll notice that on one side of this, the tab has a little letter B on it. There's a B there. Make sure you keep the B's down. There we go. And we're going to connect them like this. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin applying glue to this tab here. Not the tab with the B on it, but the other one. Okay, spread that out nice and thin. Grab the next section, line it up as accurately as you can, like so. Press that down. Line's a little off. It'll be fine though. Okay. Fold it over onto itself and then press down at that seam. There we go. Just like that. Okay. Grab the next tab, not the one with the B. It's the one that's off to the side. Okay, let's spread that out nice and thin. Lay that down. Grab the next section. These are all the same. These are not numbered, so it doesn't really matter which one you grab, in case you were wondering. There we go. Fold it over onto itself. Check your alignment. Looks good. Give that a press. A nice press. Okay. Here we go. And one more. Okay, there we go. Getting close. There we go. Grab the fourth and final piece, fourth and final side of the box, line that up. And then another press, fold it over onto itself. Check your alignment, looks good. Press that down. Give that a good solid press. There we go. Okay, all 4 pieces connected. So now we're going to go over here to this last tab, and we're going to make it continuous and join it all together. Spread that out. There we go. And you should be able to just kind of put that down flat. Grab this side, bring it over, line it up. Give that a quick little press there. And then grab it by the seam, lay it down, and press down. Okay, looks good. Perfect. Okay, flip it upside down here, and we're going to grab these 2 pieces, and one has a B, and one has a BL. This is the liner that's going to go inside. We just want the one with the B. We're going to apply glue to just one of these tabs. And we're going to anchor this right to the first tab just to get it in position. It'll make the rest of the process a lot easier. Right out to the edge and centered. There we go. Press that down, and you can take it, let it drop, press down on the rest of the tabs. That should be good. Let's hope. Let's take a look at that seam. Beautiful and clean. Bring that out. Now we're going to apply glue to the remaining 3 tabs. Again, feel free to go a little bit heavier with the glue here because we've got a lot of real estate and we need to spread it out. Okay. Just like that. Spread that out all the way to the edge. We'll close this up and then we're on the home stretch here. Yeah, I got all 3 characters assembled in about, I'd say about 3.5 hours, maybe 4. So that's not bad. All right, bring this down, line it up with this side first, nice and centered, right out to the edge. And then take a look at your other 2 sides. That one's kind of overlapping a little bit. So what I need to do is just kind of push this out a little bit. From the inside, I'm pushing it out this way, just to make sure that it, because it's not perfectly straight. There we go. Perfect. Okay, keep kind of working your finger around the perimeter, making sure that everything is making good solid contact. Push down on the tabs from the inside. Okay, let's take a look here. Look at those seams, make sure everything is clean. I've got myself a good sized gap there that I'm going to clean up. Just grab a piece of scrap, tuck it right in between those 2 layers, paint a little bit of glue on the surface of one of them, doesn't matter which one, and then press and hold that in place for a few extra seconds. Okay, next we're going to take and apply a little bit of glue around the perimeter here on the inside, on the bottom. And we're going to take this piece, this is the BL bottom liner, and pop that right in there. It's going to help reinforce it, hide the tabs. Beautiful. And we have these pieces here, these are going to reinforce the sides. And all we're going to do, I've got the smooth side facing out. The texture side is facing in. That's just to keep it consistent inside, since the inside is smooth. Okay, just keep it at like a 45-degree angle or less. Pop it in, just let it rest against the bottom, and then just push it as far as it needs to go. You can also use your surface to press down onto those, and we have a total of 4 of them because there's 4 corners, obviously. Okay, we'll continue. Okay, got that one in place. I'm going to do this corner here, just pushing it up against the bottom as far as it'll go, and then just pushing it as far as it'll go into that corner, and then just also using my table as a resource, I guess you could say. Wonderful. Okay, a couple more to go, and then we just have the decorative elements that need to get glued to one of the sides, and we are about to call it a day here. Okay, again, just popping it right down, letting it rest at the bottom, pushing it down as far as it'll go, in, and also using my table to help reinforce it. Awesome. Come on, glue. You got this. Okay. Make sure you're not putting two of these in the same corner. I mean, it's not going to harm anything, but it's a little redundant. Don't need to do that. There we go. Okay. So that's that. We still need to put, all right, so here we have this. Now you'll notice that we have the letter T here. Okay, there's two of them actually. And there's a series of little markers, and that's to help you with the placement of the button. Just make sure you get that centered right inside those little markers. Okay, the gloves are going to go on last after we get this piece attached to the main box. And the candy cane, you don't want to glue it down. Do not glue it down. If you glue it down, you won't be able to close the lid. Okay, it needs to be elevated slightly. Okay, and I'm going to use some different foam squares here. If I have them, I might not. No, I don't. Okay, I'll just stick with these then, it's fine. Just have to use more of them. Not a problem. If you have some thicker foam squares, that would be the way to go. And we just need them on like the bottom half of this. Okay, don't need to go all the way up. I would pretty much stop where it starts to curve. Okay, and that's just to help make sure that your lid can go on. And you know what, let's put this on after we get this piece attached to the box. So here's what we need to do. First off, find the side that looks the best. It's going to be front facing. That's this side for me. I'm going to take and glue this right onto the surface here, like so. You don't want to put any glue on these little wings, we'll call them. Okay, let's go ahead and apply your glue to this piece. Avoid those little pill-shaped little pieces. Okay, and these little guys, yep, got it right. Just make sure you get that nice and flush with the bottom and the sides. There we go. Flush with the top as well. Not as important because the lid will be covering up. You can put this face down and push from the inside to help the rest of that surface area grab a hold. There we go. And check your seams. Make sure everything is nice and clean. Beautiful. Okay. So now what we'll do, take our little candy cane. You can see there's a series of little score marks here, and that's to help you with the placement of this. Make sure it's flush with the bottom and right in between, dead center of those little marks. There we go. There's your candy cane, and then we'll take our little hands. These are you're gonna turn these in. They're gonna get glued to the underside. Okay, so just throw a little bit of glue on this little pill-shaped guy here, and pop that right onto there. Just like that. And mine's not totally centered. That's good. And we'll go over to the other side, same thing. Just apply a little bit of glue there. Remember, try to keep those thumbs up. You don't want an elf with his thumbs pointing down. We'll leave that for the Grinch, okay? And then we just take and put a foam square on the hand, pop that right on top of the candy cane. You could leave it loose if you want. I'm just worried that it'll get snagged or something. Okay, and there you have it. Let's put our lid on. There you go. So you see how that slides right behind the candy cane. And then finally, we have, there it is. Very cute. So that's going to do it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please take a moment, visit us on our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button while you're there. Hit the little bell so you get notifications anytime we release a new project, whether it be paid or free. And if you make any one of our characters from our new bundle, I'd love to see it. and so would 46,000 other dreamers that inspire us daily. So head over to your Facebook and do a search for Dreaming Tree Official, and that's where you'll find me, Mike, Diana, and again, 46,000 other dreamers. So anyway, hope you guys had a blast. Can't wait to see your version of our North Pole gnomes. And as always, I look forward to crafting with you again. Hey, thanks for crafting along with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, check out some of our other videos and please consider hitting that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to visit our site and check out our free SVG section where you'll find over 140 free SVG files complete with assembly tutorials. I'll see you in the craft room.